And now, Reverend Joanna Gabriel.
Good morning, everyone. It's so good to be with you. And thank you, Linda and Dallas. Your words this morning are only perfect. We couldn't have orchestrated this music any better if we had absolutely tried, and that's usually the way it works. Thank you. Perfect. So this morning, we're together, my dear friends at Unity of Bremerton. It's always good to be with you. It's especially poignant to be with you this morning. I don't know when any of you joined us this morning on this call together, this time together, and this is the only reason I would mention it here, because we've all been here together witnessing as Nora has just found out this morning that she has tested positive for the virus. And so we're holding our precious one in our arms, in our hearts, in our love, knowing that the highest good is already unfolding for her, for those around her through this experience. And as we mentioned, here we are at Unity of Bremerton in Bremerton, Washington this morning, having the real-time experience of the drama that's unfolding around the planet. Who's being touched, who's being exposed, what to do about it, how to take care of ourselves, how to protect one another. And in the midst of it, to be reminded of the truth of us in the midst of all of it. I mean, here is Nora, who's been just got moved into her new place, and it was a long time coming. And now she's just got moved in, and now she's got this to deal with. And it's like a the script of a half-hour reality show that we see on TV, isn't it? And yet it's so much more than that, because it's about life unfolding. And in these days and times, it's pretty darn interesting. It's like we've taken off the blindfolds, off the filters, and getting to be and sit with it straight on. And these are the times and these are the moments when that spiritual muscle we've been exercising every week, on Sundays, every morning when you wake up, every evening before you go to sleep, to remind you the truth of who you really are, the truth of who you really are. Why do we do that? For moments like this right now. That we are reminded the truth of us right in the midst of the shock, of the fear, of the concern, of the unknown. That is Nora's experience, that we're all feeling to some extent because of our love for Nora. And there may be those among us here who are part of the line of folks that have touched Nora or been in the same space as Nora. And so we hold her grandchildren, we hold Laura, we hold anyone else who's been in this space, who's a part of Nora's life, and those from wherever she was touched or was exposed. That for all of us, because if there was ever an outpicturing of we're all one, my goodness, this virus does remind us of that. So along with the virus, what's even more powerful and more important is the love that touches each one of us. The healing that touches each one of us. That as you and I are reminded of the strength of who we are, the light of who we are, as Dallas was singing, the truth of who we are. Nora, in her experience, is lifted up, is comforted, is reminded that she's more than these circumstances. And all that she is right here, ready to help, ready to move forward, ready to take the lead. What I brought to you today is a little a little talk it's titled Holy Ground. And where it came from was I've been reading Megan Watterson lately, and she was writing about the story, a very famous story in the Old Testament from Exodus 3, which is the story of Moses in the burning bush. Moses in the burning bush. And we all know that story. We've all heard it since the time we were kids about how Moses went up into the mountains herding his sheep. And he's going along herding his sheep, and all of a sudden he sees off in the distance, looks like there's something on fire. And so he walks up closer to it, and he sees that it's a bush. It's on fire. But the interesting thing about this bush is it's on fire, but it's not being consumed by the fire. It's just continuing to burn. And if you've ever seen, remember the Ten Commandments movie, they had the burning bush in there. It was really cool, the effects that they had that showed the burning. And in those days, that was brand new technology. Very cool. Now we could probably, I would imagine Mark could probably create that here on Zoom on a shared screen. but anyway, the thing about the burning bush, and what I was reading about it, and as I was sitting with it, I was listening and just hearing, what can we get from that today? Because you know what? When I look at the world, oh, how it sure looks like a bush that's burning, and it is not going out. It just keeps burning. And it's like logs get thrown on fire from the latest drama, the latest issue, the latest whatever each day. And it just keeps burning. And I'm thinking, what are we to get from this? What is it? What can I learn from this story? And what Megan talks about in her work is that the idea of that it was God speaking to Moses through the burning bush. Megan challenges that idea, and I kind of liked what she had to say. She said, you know, it wasn't about like that God was talking to Moses from the burning bush like the drive-through line in McDonald's. Hello, Moses. Hello, Moses. What can I get for you this morning? No, it wasn't like that. That what Moses was doing was the burning bush got his attention. That got him to wake up from the monotony of him walking around with his sheep, doing his daily thing. And we can kind of relate to that, sort of sleepwalking through the day, kind of doing our thing, not paying any attention. The burning bush got his attention. And as he stopped, what he heard was, take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. And I started thinking about that. That was really interesting, because the way I'd always held that is the reason that Moses was directed, God directed Moses to take off his sandals, because he was in the presence of God. And then I'm looking at these words, take off your sandals, for the place where you stand is holy ground. And so the divine has Moses' attention with this bush. There's something aflame, something that has got his attention. Something's going on in his world that's got his attention. Can you relate, Nora? Something's going on that's got his attention. And the instruction is, take off your sandals, for where you stand, right there, right now, is holy ground. Can you feel that? That whole thing that has been interpreted through the generations has been interpreted as a source of separation. God's the burning bush, and Moses is down here, and there's this huge separation, and Moses is getting to see how amazing God is, and how amazing God is, and God truly is. There's no question about that. But is it possible that the moment was about getting Moses' attention so that he could be shown who he is as God in expression. And God says to Moses, when Moses asks God, because Moses tells him, I want you to go down and get your people together, because there's a lot going on. It's not going well, and things need to change. So I want you to get them together. I want you to tell him you talk to me. And I want you to move out. And we talked about going to the promised land, the land of milk and honey. I'm going to get, because the land of Egypt is very, very upsetting. It's not working. People are being killed. People are being tortured. It's not working. So I'm just having my screen. I don't know. I guess Mark's got it handled. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to keep talking unless somebody tells me to stop. So I'll keep going. So Moses says, well, God, well, if I'm going to tell him this, who am I going to say told me? Who am I going to say you are? And what does God say? God says, tell them I am who I am. I am that I am. And I was sitting with that. And I was feeling into that and realizing what God was telling Moses to do. He was telling Moses to say, I am that I am. I am that I am. And so now, for me, beyond the Cecil B. DeMille drama and wow of this moment with Moses in the burning bush, from this perspective, I realize that it's actually a story, a metaphor, an allegory for another opportunity for us to be reminded of who we truly are. Megan says the burning bush is symbolic of anything in our lives that disrupts us from the habituated routine, the monotony of our everyday, and allows us to return to the presence of love. The burning bush can be whatever is in front of us that snaps us into awareness of what is true. I am that I am. No matter what we are doing, or who we are with, or where we are in the world, a church, a temple, a yoga studio, a department store, the Kitsap Mall, the checkout line at Sprouts, the ground is made instantly holy the moment we are present enough inside our own bodies to hear the presence of love. Nora, where you stand is holy ground. Dear ones, where you stand is holy ground. Can you feel that? Questions or comments, anyone? Anyone?
You want me to open it up to everyone, Joanna?
Sure.
I'm a firm believer. I self-inquiry is the way I tap into God, and this
Questions or comments, anyone?
Go ahead, Jamie.
I was just saying self-inquiry is the way I tap into God. I do it through somebody called named Muji, but he's a devotee of Babaji and Ramana Maharshi, who Ramana Maharshi taught that we all exist in this field of existence that is God, that we're all gods, we're all a part of God, and that's what I look to.
Thank you for that. Exactly. Exactly. Indeed. The self-inquiry is exactly what was being encouraged there, what was being invited there. The ground that you stand on is holy. I am that I am. Come on in here. The water's fine. Yeah. Thanks, Jamie. Anyone else?
Joanna, I'll just say this, that during my morning prayer time, I do a lot of prayers, for the world, for animals, for the environment, and so on. But I'm reminded that the Course in Miracles says all that we need do is offer to God, offer to Holy Spirit, our willingness to be of assistance, and we'll be guided from there. And so I make that part of my prayer time every morning. I offer my willingness, and I try to listen for whatever guidance I can receive, or be aware of any nudges. Sometimes guidance comes in the form of a nudge,
Indeed. And that's your burning bush, is your nudge, whatever that is in the moment, whatever that looks like. And it can show up in a myriad of ways. In a myriad of ways.
Yes.
Endless. The point is that the variable is, the requirement is the willingness to look, to listen, to allow. That's the point. Moses was wandering around with the sheep in the mountains doing his thing. He would have never seen anything. Something showed up that woke him up. Whoa, what's that? Whoa, it was a big nudge. It was a big nudge. Yeah. And that's what's happening here. And some of the nudges are sweet and warm and fuzzy and beautiful. And some of the nudges are a slap up the side of the head. Sometimes they offer shaky ground. Yeah, they do. Sometimes that's what's required to get our attention. Hello? Is this thing on? Yes, Nora?
Oh, well, it got my attention, and it's not so much that I tested positive, and it became personal when I exposed the people close to me. It sounds cold, but that's not the way I mean it, is to just say that if I passed somebody in the hall wearing my mask and I didn't know them, that's not nearly as upsetting as knowing that the people close to me that have to let know that, that I've hurt. And forgiving myself and thinking I haven't done anything wrong. I shouldn't have to forgive myself because I did not. But that's where I'm at, is just trying to say, okay, you didn't do anything that needs forgiving. But that's where I'm at.
Oh, we hear that. And of course you didn't do anything that needs forgiving. And Nora, for the place in you that thinks does and that you have, forgive there first. Love there first. One of the toughest things it seems to do sometimes is to have to show our vulnerability. Have to say,
Um,
I'm vulnerable. To have to say, I need help. I need support. This thing that's come through me, it may have passed on to you. I don't know. But you need to know that so that you can take the measures to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And I've been a part of that process. And that's the last thing I want to be in this world. So I hear that, honey.
Yeah. Thank you.
Love yourself. Forgive yourself. This is the last thing you would have ever done intentionally. The last thing anybody would have done intentionally. It's the most interesting thing I have found about since these 6+ months that we've been dealing with this. This virus, this pandemic has created in our world, I do not know what else could have happened that would have affected us on so many levels, all of us. And we're still finding out what those levels are. And for this family right here, it's become very personal now.
Mm.
And so, Nora, you're going to get an opportunity now, my dear. You who are very independent, very self-sufficient, always taking care of everybody else. You're going to have to allow yourself to be cared for, to be supported. And I know that's huge. But remember, you stand on sacred ground, holy ground. And your experience is blessing all of us by standing with you, whether we get the virus or not. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's-
Anyone? As Jamie and Debbie were alluding to, that it's about listening within. It's exactly. Messages, listening within. And Megan says the most sacred voice we can ever hear doesn't have a voice at all. An angel, the voice of God, the presence of love, the voice of the soul. This is the sound of silence. And this is the truth that's been hidden from us through the generations, through our culture, which has taught us that we require something outside of ourselves to be saved. The mercy of God, the mercy of Jesus. And if you listen to God and Jesus and all the master teachers, all the wise ones, that's not what they're telling us. They're saying, remove the distractions, dear ones. The ground on which you stand is holy ground. Repeat after me. I am that I am. that which has been hidden from us has been hidden within us. And it was a really good place because we tend not to look there, do we? It was the perfect spot. And so our task is to continue moment to moment, day to day, to open that door, to listen within, to minimize the distractions, to take off the sandals so that we can feel our feet in the grass, on the ground, connected to nature, connected to life. Allow life, the truth of us, to envelop us, to embrace us, to fill us to overflowing. Because from that place, dear ones, the answer comes. The answer's there. The next step shows up. Why is our world in such chaos? Because we're running around, bumping into each other, looking out there for the answers. And we'll never find them out there because they don't exist out there. And so our distractions and their reflections create chaos. Do you see that? Does that make sense? When we start to operate from the truth of who we are in here, I'm not talking about up here now. I'm talking about here in your heart. And however you feel that, however you envision that, in the body, that exists in the chest area, focusing here. The heart chakra, right in here. If you find yourself up here, go south. Okay? In here. How do we do that? Breathe. And let's practice right now. Breathe and send your focus right down into your heart, into your chest. Breathe. Let your chest move in and out as you breathe. And it's okay if anybody needs to cough with that. All right, just breathe. And notice what you feel there. Softening in the heart. Breathing and softening in the heart. It might feel heavy. It might feel light. What matters is what it feels to you. And breathe into that. Soften into that, whatever it is. Dear ones, this is your holy ground. This is where you want to listen, where you want to feel, where you want to put your focus. Let's breathe in the silence right here, softening into the heart. We'll give ourselves a few moments of silence to do that, to be that. Breathing and softening into the heart. I am that I am. And right here on this sacred ground, if there's anything that comes up for you, any yeah buts, any tension, any concerns, any fears, any doubts, just stay right here and breathe. Continue to soften in the heart and listen. And the mind may want to make it wrong or criticize it or beat you up or whatever. Just breathe. Let that pass right on through. I am that I am. And from this place of awareness, you may be reminded of someone who could really use time in this space right here, right now. Could really use the reminder that they walk on holy ground. That the journey is an inward one. That ascension is not up, it's in. From this place of awareness, from the I am that I am. You'd like to remember someone right now who could really use this reminder, who could really use this embrace right now. Feel free to say their names aloud so we can hold them with you. Laura. I am that I am. And from this place of awareness, we hold our entire world. All those who suffer and all those who love and care for the suffering. All those they love and all their perceived enemies. Oh, especially them. I am that I am. Divine beloved, we lift up our hearts. We lift up this family. We lift up our world. We receive the light, your divine light, your divine love, your blessing in every moment. And for the opportunity to be reminded of this holy and blessed connection. We are. We are grateful. And so it is. Amen. Blessings, everyone.
Thank you, Joanna. Anybody have any questions or anything for Joanna before we let her go today?
I want to say I really enjoyed that talk. That it was just what I needed.
Oh, good.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
a powerful lesson, Joanna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
As always.
Yes.
And for those who may not be seeing the chat, Becky is watching on YouTube. And
Thank you, Joanna. Anybody have any questions or anything for Joanna before we let her go today?
And Becky shared a message for Nora. She says, "Let yourself off the hook, Nora. You can still be an educational example of why everyone should wear their masks at all times, not just for your loved ones. Our community needs protecting." So it's all good. And Jamie and Barbara have been excellent examples of the recovery process. We can talk more about that during fellowship. But Joanna, as always, on point, always loved, always appreciated. Today's daily word, appreciation.
Always.
Yeah, we love you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
I love you too so much.
Love you, Joanna.
It
Jo-
is
You.
it's my heart and my honor to get to be with you. Please take care of each other
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
and let me know if there's anything I can do to support you all. You're in my prayers every day.
You're
Joanna,
speaking.
Yes,
I'm going to try to make your Course of Miracles meeting tomorrow.
that'd be great. We would love to have you. Do you still have the link?
I do.
Okay.
Thanks.
Much love. Much love.
Thank
Take
you,
care, everyone.
Joanna.
Blessings.
Blessings to you.
Take care, Nora.
I will. Thank
Okay.
you. And that song on Holy Ground, I'm going to listen to that this week.
Yes. Again, Dallas and Linda, it couldn't have been more perfect.
Mhm.
Yes.
Thank you. You guys rock. Thank you.